She opened my door boldly, dropped her robe, and climbed onto my bed. His small cabin, though cramped, was a haven of technology, wires, tools, and tiny gadgets scattered everywhere. The gravity was standard here, but Liam had spent the last 6 months designing a personal gravity manipulator, a device to make zero-G work the way he wanted. He rubbed his eyes. Another long shift, another lonely night on the station. Most of his colleagues had already gone to sleep, leaving the corridors silent except for the distant clatter of automated maintenance bots. Liam yawned and leaned back in his chair, letting the small fan on his desk stir the thin air. A sharp knock at his cabin door jolted him upright. The station rarely had visitors at this hour. "Who's there?" he called, trying to keep his voice steady. No answer came. Only the faint hiss of airlocks cycling somewhere down the hall. Liam frowned, stood up, and approached the door. He pressed the release button and swung it open. Standing there was the most unexpected figure he had ever seen. A girl, or rather, an alien humanoid, stood boldly in the doorway. Her skin glowed faintly with soft blue patterns that pulsed like tiny constellations. Her eyes were large and golden, reflecting the dim lights of the corridor. She held a long, flowing robe tightly around her body. Without a word, she let it fall to the floor. Liam blinked. The robe revealed a sleek biosuit that seemed to shimmer with energy. It clung to her form, but more importantly, it had delicate filaments along her arms and legs that seemed to react to the environment, adjusting automatically to the room's gravity and temperature. She didn't wait for an invitation. In a single graceful motion, she floated, or more accurately, maneuvered in zero-G as if it were water, and landed on the edge of his bed. Her movements were bold, confident, and unhesitant. Liam froze, unsure whether to speak or stare. Hello," he managed finally. I don't know who you are." She tilted her head, golden eyes studying him. Her voice was soft but carried authority. "I am Zyra. I need help. I trust humans more than my own species." Liam swallowed hard. "Humans, you trust us?" "Yes," she said simply, letting her hands hover over her knees as if floating in midair. "I have information that could change everything on this station, but I cannot do it alone." He blinked again. "Information," she nodded, her glowing patterns pulsing slightly faster. "A new technology. It can manipulate gravity and energy in ways you have not yet imagined. I need your help to understand it." Liam's mind raced. He had read reports about alien civilizations experimenting with energy fields, but he had never actually seen one firsthand, let alone one that trusted him enough to step inside his cabin alone, unannounced. "Okay," he said finally, trying to sound calm. You can tell me more, I guess. Sit down." Zyra's expression was unreadable, but she nodded. Gravity on the station was still normal in his cabin, so she simply dropped lightly onto the bed mattress, letting her legs dangle over the edge. Her bioluminescent patterns pulsed in soft waves, almost like she was breathing through light. As she settled, Liam noticed a small device on her wrist. Tiny tendrils of energy extended from it, forming a holographic map in the air above her hand. The display showed complex equations, energy flows, and what looked like miniature gravitational fields. "I have brought this from my homeworld," Zyra explained. "It can manipulate energy on a planetary scale, but the controls are sensitive. You humans have a creativity my people lack. I need you to adapt it for use in your station." Liam stared at the display. It was beautiful, almost alive, but it was also complicated, more advanced than anything he had ever worked on. I don't know if I can do it," he admitted honestly. "You can," she said, her golden eyes meeting his. "Your species thinks differently. You are bold, curious, and not afraid to experiment. That is why I am here. That is why I chose you." Her words filled him with a strange mix of pride and pressure. Humans were often underestimated by other species, but Zyra seemed to see something in him that made his chest tighten. "Okay," he said finally. Let's try it. Zyra smiled, and for a brief moment, Liam forgot that she was an alien at all. The way she moved, floated, and interacted with the room was almost like watching a dancer perform in zero gravity. They spent the next hour examining the device. Liam realized that Zyra's technology responded to thought patterns as well as physical input. She demonstrated by gently moving her hand, and the energy fields in the hologram shifted, forming spirals and waves. "See," she said. "It listens to intent. You think and it moves." Liam reached out hesitantly and focused on a small energy filament. To his amazement, it stretched and twisted exactly as he imagined. His heart pounded. I did it," he whispered. "You did," Zyra confirmed, her eyes glowing warmly. "Humans are intuitive. You approach problems differently. That is why your solutions are elegant." For the first time in months, Liam felt exhilarated. The loneliness of the station, the endless hum of machines, the repetitive days, they all melted away. Here, in his small cabin, he was part of something extraordinary. But then, a warning flashed on the station's main console. "Unauthorized energy signature detected." The filament he had just manipulated emitted a tiny pulse that was being picked up by sensors across the station. What is that?" Liam asked, panic rising in his chest. "Minor," Zyra said calmly, floating closer to him. "The device is sensitive, it reacts to its surroundings. These pulses can trigger curiosity." Liam frowned. "Curiosity?" Zyra's patterns brightened. "Other species may notice. We must be careful, but do not worry. Humans are clever, you can adapt quickly." She paused and floated slightly above the bed, her bioluminescent patterns shimmering in a mesmerizing rhythm. "But first, we must stabilize it. You need to understand its limits before you try anything bigger." And so, they worked. Liam guided the device with his intuition. Zyra corrected his movements with alien precision. Together, they managed to stabilize the energy filament, bending it around the room without triggering any warnings. Hours passed. The outside world, the hum of the station, the distant stars, even the loneliness faded. Liam realized that Zyra's bold entrance had been the spark he didn't know he needed. Humans often approached problems with curiosity and courage, and here, it mattered more than he had ever imagined. Finally, Zyra floated back to the edge of the bed, satisfied. "You have talent, Liam. This is only the beginning. Together we can do more than your people ever dreamed." Liam smiled, a mix of exhaustion and excitement coursing through him. I want to help," he said simply. "Teach me everything." She nodded, her patterns pulsing in rhythm with his heartbeat. "I will, but you must remember, boldness and courage often invite surprises. Be ready for the unexpected." And just like that, Liam realized that the night had changed forever. A bold alien girl had opened his door, dropped her protective robe, and literally and figuratively climbed into his world, bringing adventure, knowledge, and a challenge unlike anything he had ever faced. For the first time in his life, Liam felt truly alive. As they prepared to experiment further, the station lights flickered, a subtle reminder that the universe was vast, full of mysteries, and that human ingenuity would be tested in ways no one had yet imagined. Liam glanced at Zyra. She smiled, confident and unafraid. And he knew, without a doubt, that the coming days would be extraordinary. The adventure had begun. The station's hum seemed louder now, a constant reminder that life went on outside Liam's cabin. But inside, the small room had become a laboratory of discovery. Holograms danced in the air, wires snaked across the floor, and Liam's mind raced faster than the station's central processors. Zyra floated above the bed, her bioluminescent patterns pulsing softly as she observed Liam. "Your species is quick to adapt," she said. "That is impressive. I expected you to struggle more." Liam wiped sweat from his forehead. "I guess humans just like solving problems, even crazy problems." Zyra's golden eyes twinkled. "Crazy, yes. That is one word, but the device requires more than curiosity. It needs precision, intuition, and teamwork. Together, we can do what no one else can. For the next hour, they tested the alien device's microgravity controls. Liam reached out to a small energy filament floating in the cabin. At first, it spun wildly, uncontrolled. But Zyra's voice guided him. "Think of it like water," she said. "Let the energy flow around your intention, not through it." Liam focused. Slowly, carefully, the filament began to respond. It curled, stretched, and finally settled into a stable spiral. A small cheer escaped him. "I did it," he whispered. "You did," Zyra confirmed, her patterns brightening with approval. "Your species' boldness complements the precision I provide. This is effective." But success brought new challenges. The device began to emit tiny pulses of energy that Liam had not expected. Objects in the cabin, from tools to papers, floated slightly or shifted unpredictably. The bed mattress even tilted as if pushed by an invisible force. "This is bad," Liam said. "The station sensors are picking up our experiments. If the control room sees this, we could get in serious trouble." Zyra considered this, then floated closer. "Minor adjustments. I can stabilize the fields, but we must work quickly. The device's energy adapts. If we hesitate, it will create more anomalies." Liam nodded, feeling the pressure of the moment. Humans thrived under challenges like this. With Zyra guiding him, he adjusted the device's microfields, channeling energy along precise paths. Slowly, the cabin returned to normal. "Good," Zyra said, her glowing patterns dimming to a calm blue. "But this is only the beginning. The device can do much more than manipulate energy here. I want to teach you to control larger fields on a station-wide scale." Liam's eyes widened. "Station-wide? That sounds dangerous." "Not if we do it carefully," Zyra said, "and that is where your ingenuity matters. My species lacks creativity. You humans think differently. You experiment. You adapt. That is why I am here." Over the next several hours, they worked together. Liam learned to anticipate the device's responses, to think one step ahead. Zyra floated near him, demonstrating complex gestures that bent the energy fields in shapes and patterns that seemed impossible. "Like this," she said, tracing a spiral in the air. The holographic field followed her movement perfectly, forming a glowing, three-dimensional helix. Liam reached out, mimicking the motion, and the spiral duplicated, intertwining with hers. I think I understand," he said, eyes wide with excitement. "Understanding is not enough," Zyra corrected gently. "You must master it, predict its reactions before they happen. That is true control." Hours passed like minutes. Liam lost track of time as he floated in the cabin, moving alongside Zyra in zero-G. Their hands guided the energy fields, bending them, twisting them, stabilizing them. Every success built confidence, every mistake taught a lesson. Suddenly, a loud chime echoed through the cabin. Liam jumped. The station's central console blinked red. "What now?" he muttered. Zyra's eyes narrowed. "That is unexpected. The device is sending a signal beyond the station." Liam froze. "A signal to who?" "We do not know," she said, "but something is detecting us. Possibly another species. We must act carefully. Humans are bold, but we cannot rush this." Liam's mind raced. They had been experimenting innocently, but now, somehow, their work had sent a beacon into deep space. Curiosity or caution, whatever arrived first, could determine the next steps. "Okay," Liam said, trying to steady his voice. "We fix it. We control it." Zyra's glow brightened. "Yes, but first we must understand its patterns. Observe the pulses, measure their frequency, and predict their path. You humans, you are capable of pattern recognition in ways my species struggles with." Together, they mapped the signal. Liam's human intuition complemented Zyra's alien precision. They tracked the pulses, noting that the energy spread in a spiral pattern, like a whirlpool of light. The pulses seemed to avoid certain areas of the station, almost as if the device respected its surroundings. This is incredible, Liam breathed. It's not just energy, it's alive in a way. Yes, Zyra said. It responds to intention and environment. That is why it is so unpredictable and powerful. They spent another long stretch of hours stabilizing the device. Liam guided small filaments. Zyra corrected them in real time. Slowly, the signal's strength decreased and the device's behavior became predictable. Finally, Liam leaned back, exhausted but exhilarated. "We did it," he said. Zyra smiled, floating above him. "Yes. Together we did it. Humans are remarkable. Boldness, creativity, intuition. These qualities, they make your species unique." Liam felt a rush of pride. Humans often were underestimated by other species, seen as impulsive or reckless. But here, in the quiet of his cabin, an alien was praising him for what made humans human: courage, curiosity, and adaptability. But the night wasn't over. A soft hum outside the cabin signaled movement in the corridors. Liam froze. The control room, they must have noticed something. Zyra shook her head. "No, this is not the station, something distant, a probe perhaps, or another species. It senses the energy." Liam's heart raced. "Another species here?" "Yes," Zyra said. "They are curious. Possibly cautious. We must prepare. Boldness is a strength, but it attracts attention. That is the nature of discovery." Liam took a deep breath. Humans had always explored the unknown. They had crossed oceans, climbed mountains, and reached into space itself. Now, in a small cabin orbiting a distant planet, he realized that the same qualities that had carried humanity through centuries would guide them here. "Okay," he said, determination rising. "We do this together. We adapt. We prepare." Zyra's patterns shimmered in approval. "Yes. And we will. But first, a test. I need you to manipulate the device's energy to form a protective barrier around the cabin. Only a small one, just to ensure safety." Liam nodded, focusing his mind. Slowly, carefully, he guided the energy filaments around the cabin. Zyra's hands moved in precise motions, correcting his angles and intensities. Together, they formed a glowing lattice of energy that enveloped the room. It shimmered, alive but controlled, like a bubble of light. "It holds," Liam said, awe in his voice. "Good," Zyra said. "You are learning faster than I expected. Humans are bold but thoughtful. That is rare." The signal outside faded and the corridor returned to silence. Liam realized that the human qualities Zyra admired, the boldness to take risks, the creativity to solve problems, and the intuition to adapt, were what had kept them safe. They sat together in the calm after the storm, watching the gentle pulses of the energy lattice. Liam's mind buzzed with ideas. If they could stabilize this technology, they could revolutionize life on the station and maybe beyond. Zyra floated down onto the mattress beside him, her glow soft and calming. "The next step will be harder. The device can manipulate not only microgravity but also environmental energy across the station. That requires precision, creativity, and boldness, the human way." Liam smiled, exhausted but determined. "Then let's do it. Humans never back down from a challenge." Zyra's golden eyes brightened. "Good. That is why I am here. That is why I chose you. Together, we will unlock the device's true potential." And as the station continued its slow orbit around the distant planet, Liam realized something important. The bold alien who had entered his cabin, dropped her robe, and climbed onto his bed had brought more than technology. She had brought a chance to prove the strength of humanity. In the silence of the cabin, with energy fields swirling softly around them, Liam felt the first real spark of adventure in months. He was no longer alone. He was part of something extraordinary. The future was uncertain, the challenges enormous, but humans were bold. Humans were creative, and humans were unstoppable. The adventure was just beginning. The station was quiet, but the silence carried tension. Liam floated near the edge of his cabin, eyes scanning the energy lattice that shimmered around them. Zyra hovered beside him, her bioluminescent patterns pulsing in a calm rhythm. "The next step is the hardest," she said. "We must extend the device's control beyond this cabin. The entire station systems, power distribution, gravity stabilization, environmental controls, they all can benefit. But one mistake and chaos will spread." Liam swallowed. Humans were bold, but this was a challenge even bold humans might hesitate to face. Still, he felt a spark of determination. Humans had always explored the unknown. They had crossed oceans, climbed mountains, and reached into space. Now the challenge was in orbit above a distant planet, and he would not back down. "Let's do it," he said firmly. "Together." Zyra's eyes brightened. "Good, then we begin." They started by expanding the energy lattice. Liam guided the device with his mind, feeling the pulsing currents of energy respond to his intentions. Zyra corrected and refined, using gestures that twisted the filaments into precise arcs. Slowly, the lattice expanded beyond the cabin, reaching the hallway outside. "Excellent," Zyra said. "You see, humans' boldness allows you to attempt what others hesitate to try. Your species does not fear the unknown. That is why you succeed." Liam felt a surge of pride. Boldness, creativity, intuition. These were the qualities Zyra admired, and they were working. The station systems began to stabilize in ways that Liam could barely believe. Gravity anomalies smoothed out, lights flickered less, and the environmental controls synchronized perfectly with the alien device. But the triumph was interrupted by a faint hum outside the cabin. Liam froze. "Someone or something is here," he whispered. Zyra's glow dimmed slightly, a sign of concern. "Yes, the signal we sent before it has drawn attention, possibly from another species. They are cautious, but they have noticed the energy patterns." Liam's heart pounded. They had been experimenting innocently, but now their success had invited a response from the unknown. "What do we do?" he asked. Zyra studied him for a moment. "We demonstrate capability and restraint. Humans are bold, yes, but also clever. That combination can impress others." Before Liam could ask more, the station's communications console blinked. A soft, melodic signal filled the cabin. It was not threatening, it was curious, inquisitive. Whoever or whatever was responding wanted to understand them. "They are observing," Zyra explained. "We must show that humans are capable and intelligent. That is your role." Liam nodded. He floated to the console and studied the incoming signal. Patterns emerged, complex mathematical pulses, like a language made of energy itself. He realized something incredible. Humans could interpret and respond creatively in ways Zyra's species could not. "Let me try," he said. Zyra's patterns brightened. "Yes, boldness and intuition, Liam, that is your gift." Liam focused. He manipulated the device to emit controlled pulses, sending messages back through the energy lattice. The alien response pulsed in return, each wave carefully measured. Slowly, a dialogue formed, not with words but with energy and light. "This is amazing," Liam whispered. "We're communicating without words," Zyra nodded. "Yes, this is the power of your species. Bold, creative, intuitive. Humans are exceptional." Hours passed as they refined the energy dialogue. Liam guided the pulses, Zyra adjusted the lattice, and together they demonstrated human ingenuity. The unknown species responded with admiration, not hostility. Finally, a larger holographic projection appeared in the cabin. Not a being, but a complex geometric structure that shifted and shimmered, a greeting, a recognition, a symbol of respect. Liam gasped. "They acknowledge us," Zyra said softly. "They respect human boldness and intelligence. Your species is remarkable." Liam's chest swelled with pride. All those years of exploration, curiosity, and courage had led to this moment. Humans had been underestimated, but here they were proving that their qualities were unique in the galaxy. The station system stabilized completely. Gravity, lighting, environmental controls, all operated with a harmony Liam had never imagined possible. The device had not only worked, it had improved life on the station. Zyra floated closer. "This is your achievement, Liam, not mine. Humans are bold, persistent, and inventive. That combination, it opens doors others cannot even see." Liam smiled. "We did it together," he said. "Yes," Zyra agreed. "But remember, boldness carries responsibility. Curiosity invites attention. We must continue carefully, but for now, celebrate. Humans have shown their true potential." A sudden alert flashed on the station's main display. Liam tensed, expecting disaster, but instead it was a report from the alien observers. They had scanned the station and found nothing alarming. Instead, they had documented the human-alien collaboration, noting the efficiency, creativity, and bravery of humans. "They are impressed," Liam said, astonished. "Yes," Zyra confirmed. "Impressed and respectful. Humans can learn quickly, act decisively, and solve problems under pressure. That is why your species is capable of greatness. That is why I chose to trust you." Liam floated to the window, looking out at the swirling blue planet below. It was beautiful, calm, and full of promise. Humanity had a place here among the stars, proving itself through ingenuity and courage. Zyra joined him, patterns glowing softly in the dim cabin light. "This is only the beginning," she said. "The device can still do more. Station-wide improvements, planetary experiments, even interstellar communication." Liam felt a thrill of excitement. Humans had always sought the unknown, and now, with Zyra's guidance, they were not just exploring, they were shaping it. "Then let's keep going," he said, determination lighting his features. "Humans don't back down. We adapt, we learn, we create, and we succeed." Zyra's golden eyes sparkled. "Yes, together we will unlock the full potential, but for tonight, rest. You have earned it." "Boldness must be balanced with patience." Liam nodded. He floated back to the bed, still feeling the soft currents of energy around him. The lattice pulsed gently, almost like a heartbeat. He realized that the adventure, the discovery, and the bond between human and alien had changed him forever. As he lay down, Zyra hovered nearby, her glow a comforting presence. Liam thought about everything that had happened. The sudden knock on the door, the bold entrance, the dropped robe, the floating onto his bed. What had seemed shocking and strange at first had become the beginning of something extraordinary. Humans were bold. Humans were clever. Humans were capable of greatness. And in that quiet moment, orbiting a distant planet with an alien ally at his side, Liam knew humanity's story was only beginning. Bold, fearless, and endlessly curious, they would continue to explore, to innovate, and to inspire the galaxy. Outside, the station orbited peacefully, unaware of the small cabin where energy flowed and human ingenuity shone brighter than ever. Tomorrow would bring new experiments, new challenges, and new discoveries. But tonight, Liam allowed himself a rare smile. He had faced the unknown, trusted his instincts, and proven that human boldness and creativity could stand among the stars. Zyra's voice broke the silence, soft and approving. "Humans are remarkable. Remember that always." Liam nodded, feeling the weight of her words. Boldness, courage, curiosity, they were more than traits. They were a legacy, and humanity had only just begun to leave its mark. The adventure would continue across the station, across planets, across the stars. And humans would face it with the same boldness that had brought them here. The night faded, the stars glimmered, and the cabin was alive with quiet energy. Somewhere out there, the unknown watched and respected the bold species called humans. And Liam knew deep down that whatever came next, humanity would meet it head-on, with courage, with creativity, with unshakable boldness. The future was theirs to shape.